Lesson 3-4, Example 1. Our objective is learning to write large numbers in scientific notation. And we're going to start looking at multiplying by powers of 10. So let's say I have 2, and I'm multiplying that by a power of 10, just 10. Well, I know that 2 times 10 is 20. But I could look at that a little bit different way. Let me say, I'm going to write that 2 wholes and 0 tenths. So I put in a decimal point there. 2 and 0 tenths is the same thing. And I'm multiplying that by 10. And so 2 times 10 is still 20, in this case, with 0 tenths. Let's take a look at this. What if I did this? 2 and 0 tenths multiplying by 100. Well, 2 times 100 is going to be 200. And I'm starting to notice a pattern here. When I'm multiplying by 10, this decimal place moved over one place. So it went from right to next to the 2 to the right one, so it's 2, 0, and then the decimal point. Here, I have times 100, these 2 zeros on the end, and my decimal place moved over from next to this 2 over right 2 spaces. Let's see if this holds true. So 2 and 0 tenths times 1,000. Well, 2 times 1,000 is going to be 2,000. Here in my decimal place there were 3 zeros, so it went over 1. So let me write this out a little bit different so you can see this. There's 2 and 0 thousandths. And my decimal place moved over 1, 2, 3 places until it ended up right over here. So I ended up with 2,000. So this 2 went to 2,000, and I was multiplying by 1,000. Let's take a look at this with a different number. Here we have 5,892 times 1,000. Well, I have 3 zeros here. And I could think of this 5,892 as 5,892 and 0 tenths, or even 0 hundredths, or even 0 thousandths. Right? 5,892 is the same looking at it like this or looking at it like this with the decimal place and zeros there. So if I'm multiplying by a power of 10 that has 3 zeros on it, I can move this decimal place over 3 zeros to the right, 3 decimal places to the right. 1, 2, 3. And when I do that, I end up with this. And there's that decimal place. And if I put in, there we go, we end up with 5,892,000. So 5,892 times 1,000 is 5,892,000 and 0 tenths. And I could put that on there or leave that off. But I'm showing that because I want you to see how that decimal place moves over to the right. Let's take a look at another one. Here we have 47 and 75 hundredths being multiplied by 10,000. I'm going to rewrite my 47 and 75 hundredths. I'm going to put a couple of zeros on the end there. And I am multiplying this number, 47 and 75 hundredths, times 10,000. And that 10,000 has 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros on it. That tells me that I can move that decimal place over 4 to the right because I'm multiplying it by that power of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which means that my solution here is going to come out to be 477,500 and 0 tenths. Because that place value ended up right over there. Or I could just leave it as 477,500. That is what those things multiply together. Now if I wanted to go through the process and double check it all, I could do this and multiply it out in sort of a more standard format. And if I do that, I'm going to come through and find out that I come up with 477,500. Add all those up. Put back in my decimal place right there, and I come up with 477,500. So, same solution, just a different way of getting it. This is not a trick, it is an efficiency. It works because I'm multiplying by a power of 10, but this is a more efficient method, a faster method of finding the solution to this type of problem than it is than working it all out. So remember, no tricks in math, only patterns and connections. And when we see these patterns that we might see up in here, we can use those patterns to help us find some efficiencies in doing things a little bit quicker.